Single day for 9 years straight, how our government works against us to divide us, how they run these psychological operations to destroy communities and pit division. So there's a very simple code that's as old as time. It goes back to the Hebrew alphabet. It's called gematria. In Hebrew, every letter is a number, and what's amazing is we learned the alphabetic order in school. They made sure that we knew what order every letter went in. They made sure we knew A was 1, B was 2, C was 3, but they never told us why we learned an alphabetic order. And the truth is, it's because the language is numbers, just like Hebrew. If you write out Tops Friendly Markets and spell it out and use the alphabetic order, it adds up to 263. This shooting happened 263 days after Kathy Hochul became the governor on August 24th. This goes on in every city and every state. It's the same type of operation. Now, the thing about 263 is it's the 56th prime number. And they opened this store on O.J. Simpson's 56th birthday, July 9th, 2003. And of course, back in the 90s, they were trying to get people to take sides racially with the O.J. Simpson trial. A trial that nobody needed to know about, but everybody was so taken by it. I was a child back then. I couldn't understand why everyone was so taken by this. We had to watch it in my middle school classroom. I couldn't believe it. So this shooting happened exactly 56 days before the anniversary of the store opening, which is also O.J. Simpson's birthday. And 56 is a very special number to the people that control our government. If you look into the history of Washington, D.C., it was once called Rome on the Potomac. The land was owned by a wealthy Jesuit named Francis Pope, not to be confused with the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. In gematria, Washington, D.C. equals 56. So does Society of Jesus. That's the Jesuits. If you write out Black Lives Matter, it equals 56. That's the most divisive operation going in this nation, along with Antifa, which are both federal agendas. They code this number 56 up and down. And they said the shooter was radicalized by supposedly COVID isolation. Again, you look into COVID, you'll see it's 56s all across the world. When Gavin Newsom locked down California, the first governor to do so, he said in 8 weeks, 56% of California will have coronavirus. Now that's 56 days. So he said in 56 days, 56% of California's got coronavirus. In this language, Gavin Newsom equals 56, who's a Jesuit. Here in New York, you had Cuomo, the 56th governor who went to Fordham, Jesuit educated, who was very much the face of COVID. The point is, all of these things are agendas. They're all coded with the same number. You study this knowledge, you see the patterns. Here's what else is sick about this. If you write out the word racism, it equals 63. If you write out the word Buffalo, it equals 63. Kathy Hochul's 63 years old right now. She's from Buffalo. The mayor of this town, he's 63 years old right now. This shooting happened 2 days after they announced that the Bills will open the season versus the LA Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions. Of course, that was Super Bowl 56. But the thing is, again, Buffalo equals 63. If you had Buffalo Bills, it adds up to 117. And this shooting happened 117 days before the season opener with Buffalo. We've been educating about this for 9 years. The sports are controlled and rigged. The news is controlled and rigged. It's all part of a psychological operation.
I have a question for you. When Biden came here in his speech addressing the shooting, he expressed an analogy between the shooting and January 6th.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, the January 6th Capitol insurrection. So the Confederate flag flew that day in D.C. And there's only one Confederate statue in Washington, D.C. It's the Albert Pike statue, who's a very famous Freemason. His statue was pulled down after the George Floyd riots on June 19th, a year to the day of them making Juneteenth a national holiday. So from June 19th to the supposed insurrection on January 20th, this was 201 days later. This shooting just happened on Hillary Clinton's 201st day of her age, and she helped open this store on July 9th, 2003, when she was senator. Now, 201 is a very, very special number to the Jesuits. Event 201 was the coronavirus pandemic simulation, and 56 days later was the first case of coronavirus in the world. By the way, coronavirus equals 56. But anyhow, 201. If you write out the name George Perry Floyd, it equals 201. His killing came exactly 201 weeks after the killing of Adama Traore, who was killed in the same manner in Paris, France, where the Jesuits were from. Adama Traore was killed on the 201st day of 2016. 201 weeks later, George Floyd happens. Then you have the Capitol insurrection after the Albert Pike statues pulled down, which happens 201 days later. If you look into the history of the Jesuits, they were saved by Catherine the Great, who preserved the order with 201 Jesuits. This is in Russia. By the way, the whole Ukraine thing's another big ritual. If you look into the first Jesuit Pope, that's Pope Francis. His birth name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, which equals 201. He's the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. And the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, his name is 201. The Jesuits have a certain number code that they put on all their rituals throughout history. 201's a huge pattern, 56 is a huge pattern. They're used in everything from COVID to the race war shootings. That what popped off Black Lives Matter was Ferguson, Missouri. Michael Brown's another 201. And again, Black Lives Matter is 56. So it's a lot of information if you're new, but look up the word gematria. Gematria. One more thing about this shooting. They said it was a white supremacist. Now, it was compared to the Christchurch shooting on the Ides of March 15th, 2019. That was the 74th day of the year in Christchurch. This shooting happened on the 74th birthday of Israel, and in the Old Testament, the original Hebrews are black. Now we recognize Jews as mostly being white. So just think about, and it happened on a Saturday, which is synagogue day. At the synagogue, the rabbi wears the cube, like you have the cube up on tops, but the 74th birthday Israel, the 74th day of the year, it was compared to the Christchurch shooting. The manifesto for the supposed shooter here is the same manifesto that was used in Christchurch. And again, O.J. Simpson is at the heart of this. O.J. Simpson is 74 years old right now. And it's not an accident. We're living out scripts. There's a lot more to say about it, but please check out the word gematria. My channel is Gematria Effect News. I get censored all the time. But again, we're trying to bring unity, knowledge, and help people see that the agenda that the government works by every day. You guys, this stuff's silly. The other day was the 138th day of the year. Monkeypox equals 138. That's the day monkeypox is confirmed in the U.S. You learn this code every single day. It's the same stuff every day. Just recently, we had the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill. Emmett Till equals 129. Biden signed that 129 days after his birthday and 129 days before Obama's upcoming birthday, when Emmett Till in history whistled at a white woman on the day leaving 129 days left in the year. All of these things are psychological operations over the years. They just killed Chadwick Boseman on Jackie Robinson Day the other year on the anniversary of Emmett Till. Again, you learn this knowledge, you see the way we're being played. It's all by a code. It comes from Kabbalah. It's called Gematria. I really appreciate you interviewing me and helping get this out there.
Where are you from and what brought you here?
I'm from Washington State. We were just down in Oklahoma City educating about the massive 201 ritual, the terrorism thing that happened on April 19th, 95. And, you know, Timothy McVeigh, by the way, is from the Buffalo area. And I don't know if people know this, but Buffalo just started a new play 2 days before this shooting on Timothy McVeigh's bombing of Oklahoma City. And Benjamin Crump, who's at all these psyops, he just compared this shooting to Oklahoma City, which is Timothy McVeigh, who, by the way, his name's 201, just like Terry Nichols is 201, and there's a million more. They've been doing the same thing all throughout history, putting the same numbers on it to divide and conquer, and it's all a federal agenda. By the way, the CIA was established 201 days after the Pope's birthday in history, September 1847. If you find me, Zachary K. Hubbard, Gematria Effect News, I have 2 big books out there. I've made them totally free to download so people can get this information. I'm about to finish my 3rd book. I'm going to make it free right away because the people need this knowledge ASAP.